Good afternoon to you. Hope you all alright. Day's Monday again. Take long, do it. Weekends fly by. But he ain't been bad. He's been nice and dry, really. We've had odd shower, but he's been very, very good. Just stay safe. We're doing alright. We're doing okay. Anyhow, I'm going to do a Liz Arman here today. This one's called Nicka's Tale. Now look what you've done. You've scat all my clean ironing on the floor. You're driving me mad hanging around the house all this blessed day. Clear off and don't come back till daytime. To say the least, Nicka's mother was irate. It had been just one of these days. The sun had beat down unmercifully for more than a week. Houses with windows wide and doors ajar were hot and airless. The village stifled under a blanket of heat. Nicky hadn't felt like going out with his friends to the camp at Bluebell then, and his best pal Willie was off with his parents visiting relations down St. Ives. He quite envied Willie the ride on the train, but not the fact that Willie would have to wear his Sunday best clothes and be on his best behaviour for hours. So Nicky had moosed around the house all day long, driving his mother to distraction, and now, while she was tackling the week's ironing, he had knocked a pile of freshly ironed clothes on the floor. The kitchen reeking of the old methylated spirits in the primus stove on which she heated the heavy irons, too hot for light the slab, and aching back and swollen feet made her very tired and teasy. Nicky, realising that discretion was the best part of valour, fled. The first place was that a 12-year-old Newland boy would run was to the harbour, but none of his school friends was about. All the boats were out to sea, the market had been hosed down, and the water in the harbour was low. Even the seagulls seemed too hot and tired to squawk. Moodily he made his way to the beach. To his amazement, it was deserted. The tide was a bit too far out to skim stones, and in his rush to get out he bought neither bathing drawers nor towel. The sea lured him with a siren song. Gently the waves rippled over the sand and pebbles sparkling like diamonds. Over the beach the heat rose, shimmering from the rocks. Swiftly he succumbed to the siren call. Divesting himself of his garments, placing them as he thought, on a safe and convenient rock, he ran mother naked to the sea. As he ran, he felt the waves ridges on the sand under his feet. With abandon, he squashed a lugworm cast beneath his toes and ran into the water. Oh, the bliss! The cool sea water caressed his hot burning limbs with finest silk. He was in a world of his own. He swam, he dived, he floated, and sang, happily unaware of everything. Time flied. Then he heard the first rumble of the quarry guns. The 5 o'clock blasting of Penley Quarry served as a time keeper for all Newland, telling wives that the men would soon be home for tea. Reluctantly, Nicky decided he had better not aggravate his mother any more that day, so he turned back to the beach to collect his clothes and go home. Now, Nicky had forgotten that tides have a habit of going out and coming in, and the rock that had seemed so safe for his clothes was now almost submerged and devoid of his garments. To his horror, he also found that the deserted beach was now crowded, with people seeking a breath of fresh air before tea time. Some kind person, seeing that his clothes were in danger of being washed away, had moved them right to the top of the beach. What a dilemma! Now, had Dickie been swimming with his friends in the harbour, his nakedness would have meant nothing, as they seldom bothered with swimsuits there. But here, alone in sight of everyone, he felt very vulnerable. The choices he had were either to make a dash to the beach, up the beach to his clothes, exposing his nakedness, or stay in the water until the beach cleared of people, and thereby risking his mother's anger by being late home for tea. A crime nearly as bad as knocking over the clean and iron clothes. Then he saw salvation was at hand. There beneath the sea, almost hidden by rocks and seaweed, he spotted the handle of a discarded frying pan. He could at last use that as a shield to cover those bits of his anatomy that are usually hidden from public display. So grabbing the pan by the handle, he held up in his front like an iron fig leaf and started back to his clothes. As he walked up the beach, he noticed people smiling and pointing at him. He tried to look as if his unusual beach wear was quite normal, until one joker shouted out, "That's a picture no artist could paint, boy," and another called, "That's a proper frame for an innit." Nicky looked down and found to his horror that his frying pan fig leaf had no bottom in it, only the handle and the rim. Now, Nicky always had a sense of humour, and even as an old man he would delight in telling the tale of at family gatherings, particularly when he had a glass or two of lubrication, and would always end up laughing and saying, "And there I was, no bottom, only a rim." This is another little quick one here. An expectant father rang the Trellisk maternity unit to see how his wife was, who had gone into labour, was getting on. By mistake, he had connected to the county cricket ground. "How's it going?" he asked. "Oh, fine," came the answer. "We got 3 out and hope to have the rest out before lunch. The last one was a duck." Thank you and take care.